I hoped that the Albanian writer Ismail Kadare would win this year's Nobel Prize in Literature, but, then, I hope that every year. Kazuo Ishiguro's ennoblement is a surprise. I wonder how many readers had thought of him as a likely contender. A graduate of the University of East Anglia's Creative Writing School, where he was a student of Angela Carter, he may well be the first product of a creative writing course to win the Nobel. On reflection, however, you can see how his work shares similarities with another British laureate, William Golding. Both writers have been drawn to allegory, and to historical fiction and fantastical exploration. Ishiguro's most recent novel, The Buried Giant, is set in 6th or 7th century Britain. Golding's The Inheritors is about a Neanderthal family, and both writers have practiced a kind of brilliantly imperturbable purity. They have supremely done their own kind of thing, calmly undeterred by literary fashion, the demands of the market, or the intermittent incomprehension of critics. I've been one of those critics. I greatly admired Ishiguro's early novels, such as An Artist of the Floating World, from 1986, and The Remains of the Day, from 1989. The latter seems an almost perfect book. But The Unconsoled, 1995, narrated by a concert pianist and set in an unnamed Central European city, too closely inhabited the miasmic, drifting, dreamlike state it sought to evoke. I thought that The Buried Giant, 2015, apparently admired by at least one member of the Nobel Committee, was an allegory at once too literal and too vague. Ancient Britain has been plunged into a nationwide historical amnesia nicknamed the Mist, which turns out to be the breath of Gwarig, a tyrannical she-dragon that must be slaughtered. Enough said. But Surely Never Let Me Go, 2005, is one of the central novels of our age, in part because Ishiguro perfectly mixes realism and dystopian fantasy, to produce an allegory of deep and lingering power. Never Let Me Go is set in a boarding school called Hailsham, and flatly narrated, in a style of almost punitive blandness, by a young woman named Cathy. Hailsham seems banally similar to any British school of its ilk, and it's only very gradually that we begin to discern the enormous differences. It is in fact a school for clone children, whose organs are being harvested for ordinary, luckier, non-clone British citizens. The clone children will eventually be called up, and forced to donate a kidney or a lung. By the fourth donation, sometime in their early 20s, they will die, having served their function.